Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. So my parents had me very late in their lives, after a crap ton of tries and being told they could not have kids. Well, here I am, but my dad was 51 and my mom 45 when I was born. Despite their age, they were amazing parents, loving, caring, strict but fair. And they were in a very good financial position, in large part due to their age. So they put me through very good schools and paid my tuition to uni and so on. In other words, I had a great youth and was set up for success. Well, I am 26 now. I am doing well for myself. However, the problem started 3 years ago. They missed having me in the house. It felt empty, they said. So they were considering adoption from another country, where laws are more lacking, as in our country, their age would likely prevent them from even being considered. I told them that this was a horrible idea due to their age. Last year, they succeeded in adopting a little girl and her brother, aged 3 and 5, and I have only met them a few times so far. All times they were extremely shy. And frankly, I'm not close to them at all, as I live halfway across the country. So obviously, I do not consider them my siblings, but more so as my parents' kids. Issue is, my dad is now 77 and my mom is 71. They are still very fit for their age and have a live-in nanny to help out. But let's be honest, they are in the age group where it is likely their end is near. So I visited them a week ago and asked them what their plans were for the kids if they die before they are adults. And they were pretty much lost for words, looked confused and answered, "Obviously you will take them in, you are their brother." I pretty much had the same reaction as they had to my question and told them there was no way, I hardly know them. I am not close to them. I do not consider them my siblings and I certainly won't take care of 2 kids. Went over about as well as you can expect. Loads of yelling and screaming which led to me leaving. I have not spoken to them since apart from my mom sending me messages to reconsider. Obviously, I feel bad though. There is no one else who can take care of them. No other family, no close friends, just me. So they'll end up in the foster system. But am I the a-hole? Edit. I feel terrible, but honestly, what do they expect? For me to just take care of kids I hardly know during the best part of my life? I mean, with their age, for all I know, they may already be near the end, especially my dad. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Adopting at their age is a terrible idea. They know they will die soon. Frankly, 10 to 20 years at most is what they can expect. You don't adopt a child because the house is empty. You get a bloody dog. It shows incredible selfishness and short-sightedness on their part, because they clearly haven't given much thought on what will happen to them once they're dead or too old to care for a teenager. Not the a-hole. It was their decision to adopt children at their age. They should face the consequences and make plans for the future that don't involve you giving up your life as you know it, for a, frankly, reckless decision you had no part in. Not the a-hole. How can they make a decision to adopt 2 young children so late in life and then make the assumption that when they inevitably pass, you will be responsible for caring for them? That is truly screwed up. They are not your responsibility. Story 2. I have been with my husband since I was 17 and he was 20. His sister is 4 years younger than him. 3 years into our relationship, we got married. I'm 28 now. I gave birth 8 months ago and I'm currently 6 months pregnant with our second. 2 years ago, my husband's sister lost her flat. She had a 2-year-old, so I of course agreed to let her stay with us. Rent for her is £200 a month, which barely covers her food. And we specified she would have to tidy up after herself and her child, because my husband and I both work full-time. I've been off for a while now. I'm still working from home though, but no longer go into the office, and while his sister has never been the tidiest, she did the bare minimum. She now does absolutely nothing apart from making a mess. My husband helps out sometimes, but bless his heart, he can burn water and he has no backbone, meaning despite only having 1 child at the moment, I'm tidying up after 2, 3 if you count his sister. My husband wants to give his sister a break since she's not been late on rent and helps us out sometimes, so we can have a day for ourselves. We pay her £11 an hour for that. Since getting pregnant with our second, all she's done is talk down to me. We've had some heated arguments. My husband tends to stay neutral. I'm sick of her. I've mentioned it to both of them. If she isn't out by January, I'm leaving. If she continues giving me attitude, she can leave by October. My husband is now upset for alienating his sister, who's trying to get her life back on track, saving for a house, considering going to university and working. At this stage, I don't care if she starts tidying up after herself. I'm done, but now I'm wondering if I'm being harsh and overreacting. Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. And for reference, your husband isn't staying neutral in this. He chose his sister. And I'm sorry, it must be so hurtful. I know it is a cliche, but you don't have a sister-in-law problem. You have a husband problem. But I wouldn't give her until January. I assume you're in the UK as you said pounds. Since she has a small child, the local council has to provide accommodation. She won't be homeless. She has been there 2 years. If she was planning on getting her life together, she would have already. Not the a-hole. She has long outstayed her welcome. Why has she been there for 2 years? That is far too long. Sounds like she has become complacent and is depending on Big Bro not saying anything to rock the boat. Hence, her being allowed to disrespect you in your own home. The only thing I would say is don't make empty threats. If you say you're going to move out, if she doesn't buck her ideas up, move out. Be prepared to do so. Otherwise, they will never take anything you say seriously again. Not the a-hole. You've given her plenty of notice to sort it all out. She clearly takes advantage of you and your husband. And I'm sorry, but if she has been there for 2 years, that is ample time to get her life back on track. You have enough on your plate as it is. Story 3. My 29 female, older brother, 31, started dating his wife Anna, 30, back in high school. Since they started dating, our families started to get really close. Our parents were really good friends and I had a good relationship with our brothers. I had such a good relationship with our older brother Mark, 33, that we got married 3 years ago. So our families were always very mingled. My mom and my mother-in-law used to be close friends. Then, everything changed when Anna got pregnant. The pregnancy itself was not the issue. She didn't have any issues during the pregnancy. Where we live, because of the COVID restrictions, Anna could have only one person with her during her stay at the hospital, which includes the actual delivery and until she and the baby would be discharged. The problem is, Anna wanted her mom and my brother there, but she chose her mom, which made my brother very upset. They got into a big argument that went on and on for days. It escalated when mother-in-law got into a fight with my brother, which got my mom into the fight, which got father-in-law into the fight, which got my dad in the fight. It was a disaster. Our family's previously good relationship got unbearable. My brother eventually asked everyone to stop. He apologized to mother-in-law and things returned to normal. 3 months ago, Anna delivered a beautiful baby boy. Things were fine for a while. Until 2 weeks ago, my brother and Anna were having issues since the baby was born. He was sleeping in the guest bedroom since that and he was a bit cold towards her. My brother apparently decided that he no longer wanted to stay married to Anna. He separated from her last week, staying at our parents'. Apparently, he is already looking into a new house. He only visits Anna to see the baby and only speaks to her about their son. She is in shambles. Mark and I tried to talk to him, but apparently the only thing that could fix their marriage is an effing time machine. My brother is very hard-headed, and once he puts something on his mind, it is really hard to dissuade him. He only wants a co-parenting relationship with Anna. Once he announced that he was getting a divorce, our families went crazy and all hell broke loose. Her family is absolutely furious with him, and by extension, me. They are demanding that Mark and I cut my brother off, forcing us to pick Anna's side, to try to put some sense in him. My family, on the other hand, are going absolutely insane with the way that her family is reacting. They got into an enormous fight, and a lot of really harsh words were said on both sides. And no one is speaking to no one right now. My family demands that we cut Anna out of our lives. Both of our families are demanding that we pick a side. My husband and I, at first, were very sure of our stance of being neutral on this one. But the thing is so bad at this point that we are invited to Christmas from neither family. I'm starting to get conflicted. Am I the a-hole here? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. You have a happy marriage, and your older brother and Anna clearly did not. Your families are choosing to put strain on your relationship over something that is basically no one's business. Relationships stay between the couple, so in this case between your older brother and Anna. I'm the fighting type, so if it was me, I'd tell them off and remind them that you don't know what happens behind closed doors. Not the a-hole. Stay neutral. If neither family invites you for the holidays, celebrate just the two of you. Do not cave into these crazy people. Honestly, Anna destroyed her marriage when she kept her husband from being there for their child's birth and the immediate days after. I would never have been able to forgive her either, but that's between her and your brother. No one else should be involved. Not the a-hole. Anna sucks. When she married your brother and started a family with him, she implied that he would be first in her life. She chose her mother over your brother. That baby is just as much as your brother's as Anna's. This would be a deal breaker for me too. Story 4. Background. I have always been career driven. I have a good job, think executive level, and take pride in it. My husband also has a good job, but nothing he is passionate about. I was ambivalent about having children to begin with, but I was open to the idea as long as I didn't have to give up my career or most of my lifestyle. Before my son was born, my husband and I had many conversations about this and ultimately decided that he would be the one to step back from his career if and when the time came. Don't get me wrong. I love my son and will love the new baby too, but I really have no interest in staying home with my children. I, 31 female, have a 1.5-year-old son, Connor, and I am pregnant with my second, due in September. My husband, Adam, and I recently announced this pregnancy to our family and a few friends. We moved across the country for my job right before the pandemic, so during my first pregnancy, I was not around any of my husband's family and friends. We got together at a friend's house. Most of these people are friends of my husband who are nice, but I'm not very close with them. Most of them knew I was pregnant, but a few did not, including Amy, in her 30s, who got very quiet when others were congratulating us. I thanked everyone but just sort of moved on from it. Later on, I found myself on the deck with most of the other wives, including Amy. They started asking me how I was feeling. Then Amy, who has no kids, started commenting about how wonderful it is to be a mom and be pregnant. I didn't really say much, while some of the other mothers agreed. Amy then turns to me and asked if I disagreed with her. I said that I honestly do not enjoy being pregnant, and the baby stage is tough, and while I am happy to have another baby, I'm not really looking forward to taking time off and being stuck at home. Some of the other women started to say that I must have PPD because I don't love my children and that I should take some time off and get into therapy because I won't be any good to my children if I'm depressed. I told them not to worry, that I was perfectly fine and I didn't need to love pregnancy or the baby stage to be a good parent. I said getting back to work after the baby is born will help. These women were horrified and Amy started crying because she has struggled with infertility and there is no justice since people like me get to have 2 kids while she has none. I told her I was sorry about her struggle and I did not mean to offend her but was just speaking honestly about motherhood. Well, word got back to my in-laws. One of the guests is my husband's cousin and wife, and all hell has broken loose. They are horrified that I do not plan to take more than a few weeks off and that I am forcing my husband to do most of the childcare. They are now convinced that I have PPD. They also think that saying what I said at the party makes me the a-hole. I feel like I was asked a question and gave an honest answer. Edit. My husband is not a stay-at-home dad as we have a nanny, but he's the one who will have to take time off when kids are sick, do homework with them, etc.